What's good, YouTube? It's your boy UNC Reacts, back at it again with another reaction video. Today we're gonna be reacting on top 5 unknowns. Like I said before, I love them. I've been subscribed to them since forever. But we're gonna be reacting to 5 real nightmare and inducting photos you cannot unsee. And like I said, I love creepy stuff like that. I like getting creeped out. Just yesterday, I went to a Horror Nights, and it was actually pretty good. But since I didn't get in front of the line because it was sold out, I lasted forever to get into a maze or even a ride. But other than that, let's get into this video. Let's go.
Some of these images appear in your dreams at night. Who knows? In this video, we take a look at some real nightmare-inducing photos captured from around the world. Now, as we have to abide by YouTube's guidelines, don't expect anything too out of this world. However, they're still terrifying. Number 5. Locked-in room. In 1901, French police found a shocking discovery. On May 23, 1901, the Attorney General of Paris received an anonymous letter. It said there was a woman being held captive in a home. The letter described the room to be of an horrific state, claiming the woman was living in her own filth. The address listed in the letter surprised the police as it was home to a 75-year-old widow. She lived with her son. Her husband died 22 years earlier, and her daughter had mysteriously disappeared without a trace in 1876. Once police arrived at the home, they searched it and found a frail 49-year-old woman locked up in an upstairs bedroom. Upon their entry, they came across a chilling scene. When they first entered the bedroom, they opened the curtains. This was difficult to do as they were covered in a thick layer of dust. They then heard movement coming from the bed. This is when they saw her. Investigators claimed she was living on a rotten straw mattress. A crust containing feces, pieces of meat, vegetables, fish, and rotten bread had formed around her. The investigators also said the room was infested with bugs. The smell was so horrible that they had to leave the room as they couldn't continue their investigation. The woman was quickly rushed into the hospital where the doctors believed she was going to die. It was the first time she had seen sunlight in 25 years. While she was in hospital,
25 years?
Her mum. After quite a long investigation, the truth finally came out. She'd been locked in the room as she was going to marry someone her mum didn't find suitable enough. Blanche Monnier was locked in a room for 25 years. Once she was set free, she gained weight back but never managed to regain her sanity. She died 12 years later in a psychiatric hospital. Her mum was arrested the day after she was discovered and then died 15 days later in prison. Number 4. Omeira Sanchez. On November 13th, 1985, after 69 years of being dormant, the Nevado del Ruiz volcano located in Colombia erupted. The eruption killed more than 20,000 people. The event was broadcast to the world, but one particular picture shocked audiences worldwide. This photo of 13-year-old Omeira Sanchez still remains to shock people today. After her house was destroyed by the eruption, she became pinned by the debris of her house. She was trapped in the water for 2.5 days until she died. The photo, taken by internationally known and won World Press Photo of the Year in 1986. As it was impossible to free her without severing one of her legs, the doctors who were present agreed that it would be more humane to let her die. She survived for 2.5 days before dying. Although she was stuck, she remained in high spirits. She asked survivors and the media to bring her sugary foods and drinks. By the end of her life, she began to hallucinate and would often say she was late for school. She either died of gangrene or hypothermia. The photo is believed by many to represent the failure of the Colombian government in evacuation of the residents.
Why the fuck would you let her die?
Had prior knowledge of the eruption, but failed to evacuate the residents quick enough. A writer by the name of Isabel Allende wrote a short story about the event, claiming the girl's black eyes still pursue her in her dreams. Number 3. Vladimir Komorov was a Soviet test pilot, aerospace engineer, and cosmonaut. He made history becoming the first Soviet cosmonaut to enter space twice. He also became the first human to die on a space mission. In 1967, he was chosen to command the Soyuz 1 space capsule. He knew the capsule was not safe for flight, but still decided to pilot it. He told his friends he knew he was going to die, but didn't want a different pilot to risk their life, so he didn't back out. On April 24, 1967, upon re-entry, the capsule's parachute failed to open. Vladimir died once he impacted the ground. The only body part to survive the crash was a chipped heel bone. An open casket funeral was held for him, but the image is not safe for YouTube, so the link will be in the description. The picture is a little graphic.
I actually seen this picture or this story, and those pictures are really, really, graphic. Those are just messed up.
Number 2. Regina K. Walters'
Number
last
two.
photo. In February of 1990, 14-year-old Regina Walters and her boyfriend went missing.
14?
They were abducted by infamous serial killer
14?
Robert Ben Rhodes. Also known as the truck stop killer, he is believed to have murdered, tortured, and raped more than 50 women. He carried out the murders in Texas
What?
and Illinois. Robert was a disturbed man. He converted his truck into a torture chamber.
What the
Convicted for the
fuck?
murders of 3 people, police believe he is responsible for up to 50 murders. A photo of one of his victims' last moments became infamous.
Damn,
this is Regina
that's
K. Walters
just
moments before she was killed by Robert in a
moments
bar.
before
On
she was
April 1st,
killed.
1990,
Damn, that is
Arizona
just,
State Trooper found
you
Robert's
know,
truck
fucked
with his
up.
hazard lights on. Once he investigated it, he found a woman inside. She was naked, handcuffed, and screaming. He then found Robert, who tried to talk his way out of the situation. Robert was arrested. After police searched his home, they found several nude photographs of Regina. They also found bizarre photos of Robert in bondage gear. After he abducted Regina and her boyfriend, he killed her boyfriend instantly, but kept Regina alive for a long time. This was determined by hair growth and bruising on her body. In 1994, Robert was convicted of the first-degree murder of Regina K. Walters and was sentenced to life without parole. Number 1. The Mummies of Venzone. Located in Venzone, Italy, these mummified corpses come from the 16th century. They were mummified by a natural process, and instead of decomposing normally, the bodies remain preserved and still recognizable many years later. It remains a mystery to why they're preserved, although many scientists have
There's actually a place like this in
the
Mexico.
townspeople often retrieve the corpses and walk
It's
around with their dead
actually
loved
where
ones.
I'm
The mummies
from.
weigh anywhere between 22
It's
and 44
there's
pounds.
a lot of
There were
mummies in
originally 42 mummies, but after an earthquake in 1976, the number has
42
dropped to
mummies?
15. So yeah, there are people in Italy who are walking around with 500-year-old corpses. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, then be sure to give it a big thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe.
Anyways, that's the end of the video, guys. Like, comment, share, and let me know what you guys think of these type of videos. You know, I think they're pretty interesting and, you know, kind of creepy, you know. But anyways, leave a comment down in the comment box down below of what video or what video you want me to react next. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace.